Our next guest is the first Armenian to be elected to the City Council of Los Angeles. Councilman Krekorian, yesterday, so many of us here today heard your impassioned words at the end of the March for Justice. I would like to say, yes, Khachadur and Sera Nahigyan are very proud of you. We are all very proud of you for providing moral and compassionate leadership for the Armenian community and for all Angelinos. Abris, Marskit Dadar.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're gathered. It's a great privilege to be gathered here again today, not only on this centennial commemoration of our genocide, but on the 50th anniversary of the construction of this revered monument, the first monument to the Armenian Genocide in the United States of America. And I grew up in Los Angeles, and when this monument was built, I was a young child. And as I was growing up here, I can tell you, no one spoke outside of our community. No one spoke about the Armenian Genocide. When I would tell people that I was Armenian, my friends, most didn't even know that that was a real thing. They didn't know that there was such a place. They had never heard of our culture. They had certainly never heard of our genocide. But a few visionary leaders in our community thought that it was time that we educate. And so they came to the Montebello City Council and had the plan to build this monument, and took the steps necessary to bring this monument to all of us. And my friend Oshin Keshishin was just telling me this morning that when those visionary leaders had that idea to come forward with this monument, this will come as no surprise to anyone in this gathering, I'm sure, but they were threatened by Turks. We're used to being threatened by Turks. In the Montebello City Council that day, when they came for approval of this proposal, a Turk appeared to give comment and said, "If you build it, we will blow it up." 50 years later, this monument still stands. So it's a message that should not be lost on President Obama or the leaders in Congress or anyone else. We've heard Turkish threats before. But think of what's happened in those 50 years that have ensued. At a time, as I say, when people weren't really talking about the Armenian Genocide, this monument was built. First, we remembered. Then we organized. Then we educated, and yesterday we shook Los Angeles. Yesterday, the sounds of the feet of 100,000 people shook Los Angeles as much as any earthquake ever has. And people around the world noticed. People around the world saw what we did. People around the world joined with us in our cause, and it became their cause as well. And I hope you'll all agree with me that I feel as though this year has been different than all other years. This year, I feel that the world has joined us in a way they haven't before. We've always had great friends here, great friends like Adam Schiff and Judy Chu and Linda Sanchez and others in elected office who've come and joined with us on April 24th, and that friendship means the world to us. But even more important than that political friendship is the fact that the world has taken this cause into their soul as their own. We saw it at our cathedral. We saw it in the Vatican. We've seen it in the editorial pages of newspapers around the world. This cause has become not an Armenian cause, but a universal cause of human rights and of justice that all join with us. And the reason they join with us is, first of all, because we've explained it, and we've educated, and we've taught them. And so now, when people when they see films of the trains carrying the victims of the Holocaust into Auschwitz, When they see that, they hear the echoes of the boxcars of trains carrying people to Derzor. When they hear of the horrors of the Rwandan genocide and people dying by the hundreds of thousands by machete attacks, they hear the echoes of Turkish swords and bayonets killing our people. When people even today see the deaths of the victims of the genocide in Sudan that is occurring as we're sitting here today, they hear the echoes of the voices of the people who died in the deserts of Syria during the Armenian Genocide. And people throughout the world see the chain of inhumanity to man that began even before our genocide, found its biggest manifestation in the first genocide of the 20th century, and the impunity that came from that. The lack of accountability, the lack of justice that happened after that genocide and that continues now has shaped the darkest moments of the 20th century and continues to shape what we face now today as a human family. That's why recognition matters so much. That's why acknowledgement and justice matters so much. But I don't know about you, but I'm tired of waiting for political figures to act. I'm tired of waiting for the right statement by the president. The president may be the most powerful person in the world, but he doesn't have the power to shape history. He doesn't have the power to shape our destiny. He doesn't have the power to shape what we know is true, because the truth persists. Presidents come and go. Members of Congress come and go. The truth persists. It is ours and it can't be changed. So I say, yesterday we marched, Armenians and non-Armenians alike. We marched, but our march didn't end. Our march continues today and tomorrow and forever. Our march is one that celebrates our survival. It's one that remembers our martyrs, but it's also one that says in one clear voice, this community will not stand for genocide against anyone, anywhere it happens. This community stands up with the rest of the world and says, as one human family, we will never tolerate hatred and bigotry and genocide anywhere that it happens. Because if we make that commitment, then we know that what began with the Armenian Genocide can end. But it can only end if we recognize and hold accountable the perpetrators and make sure that it never happens again. If we join together in that purpose, then we know that our struggle will have succeeded, and our march will continue, and the President and the Congress can catch up with us, because we march forward. Thank you very much.